You have no control. Look, you might not have control of your bowels, okay? But you are a 40-year-old woman.
You have to lose some weight.
Hey y'all, Nana here. I hope that everybody's doing well. I hope you're keeping safe, and I hope you're keeping healthy. I myself, I'm doing all right. Matter of fact, I'm just peachy keen. Anyhow, y'all, I just had to come on right quick because, wait, let me tell you, I got some things to say about the latest video that Foodie Beauty put out. You know, the one where she's like, I gotta give control to my husband. He's gotta control what I eat. He's gotta control my food because I'm a failure of an adult and I can't do it by myself. I can't because I ain't got no control over my life at all. So I'm gonna put him in charge of my food intake because I can't do it. I can't do it by myself. Yeah, that video, because I got some things to say. But let's get through the usual bullshit, and then we'll talk about it.
Just a little bit of an update with how I'm doing. For those of you who don't know, I suffer from binge eating disorder and food addiction, and I have been this way for as long as I can remember in my life. You know, even as a kid, I was always obsessed with food in a very unhealthy way. I would, use food for comfort. That developed into using food for comfort.
What's changed? What's changed? You still use food to comfort yourself. We sit there and we watch it. We witness it. You're mad, you eat. You're sad, you eat. You still use food for comfort. So what's changed? Nothing's changed. But carry on.
Food has just always been the main focus center of my life. And I have a lot of food noise in my head. It's just always food. You know, what am I going to eat next? Just always thinking about food, obsessing about food.
Yeah, we witness that too. As you're sitting there stuffing your big old face, right? You're just eating, and you're thinking about food. You're talking about food. You're fantasizing about food. But more than that, your chat, your own chat is constantly talking about food. Food they'd like for you to eat. Food they like to eat. Food. But I'll get to all that a little later.
I have talked about this ad nauseum on my channel, and I probably will continue to talk about, some of my struggles and stuff like that. So,
and you have every right to share about them struggles if you choose to. But don't go getting pissy when any of us out here have any opinions about the things that you choose to share about them struggles. What don't you understand? Share all you want to. But if we want to opinionate on it, that's all right. Because you're sharing it on a public platform.
But so far, I'm on a winning streak, just doing well. I'm actually really happy with the little accomplishments I've been making.
Winning streak? Accomplishments? Girl, just last week, you was gorging yourself on junk food, eating them THC's gummies. I mean, you might want to give yourself a little bit more time before you go patting yourself on the back, girl. Come on now, because I don't think all that's out your system just yet. So you might want to just settle down a little bit, Accomplishments. Ooh-wee.
In Thailand, I ordered a lot, and I did have some, there were some times where, I would be alone and just watching a movie or whatever in the hotel, and I would order out again on top of having had supper and stuff like that. And then I would order snacks or go to the 7-Eleven and have snacks. And I realized, left to my own devices, being in private, I was able to just do whatever I wanted to, and was also able to hide things from my husband.
I find that funny. I find that real funny, girl. Come on now. We sat here and we watched you. We watched you eating all that junk. I mean, come on now. Your room was full of containers, wrappers. I mean, we was hearing you clean up all the mess that was in that hotel room. You even got a notice that you needed your room clean. So I'm pretty sure that your man, your husband, knew that you was eating around the clock. Aside from that, come on now. We all know he controls the money. He controls your money. But yeah, that's funny. That's real funny. And you're well aware of what you can do when you're left to your own devices. Because you have admitted it before. Oh, did you forget? Here, let me play a little clip for you.
When I'm out of the country, I mean, I feel like I could get away with excusing things that I spend more, almost kind of taking advantage of the fact that he doesn't really know a lot about how it works down there, like with the, costs and things. And I feel bad for that. Like, I guess it's a kind of a way of being, like, dishonest a bit. I don't know. But Trust me, it's worse. It's worse when I'm over there by myself.
If you ask me, that's an admission of guilt. So you're well aware. You are well aware of what you'll do on your own. Don't have no control. Yeah. It's called manipulation, if you ask me.
This is new for him. He's a you know a person who doesn't have issues with food.
What you mean, new to him? Look, it might have been new to him in the beginning, in the very, very beginning. But how in the world is it still new to him now? That don't make no sense.
So this is like a whole new thing for him. You know, I did mention when we met, because I feel it's important to be transparent with somebody, especially if you're planning on marrying them. I felt it was important for him to really know what my downs were. So I did, talk a bit about how I have issues with food, and I don't think at the time he really understood the full extent of it until he lived with me.
Nope. Sit down with that. Sit down with that, because you've used that excuse before. You have. Now come on now. Y'all have been together for 2 years. It's gonna be 2 years next month, okay? 2 years. Y'all married, right? Y'all live together, right? So how in the world, after 2 years, you sitting there saying that this is still new to him? No, that's just an excuse. It ain't new to him. He been dealing with this for 2 years now. Right? Y'all live together, right? Y'all connected at the hip together all the time. That's what you've said. But now this is new to him? Come on now. That don't make no sense.
He's very intelligent and he learns fast.
He's intelligent and he learns fast. What? Well, tell me this. Tell me this. In the 2 years that he's been dealing with you, why hasn't he learned how to deal with the situation? Why hasn't he learned how to control the situation? But wait a minute. This is all new to him, right? But he learns quick.
I already feel like he knows, kind of what it would be like for me and how hard it must be for me. So I'm glad that he can empathize with me and understand.
Time out. Hold up. You just totally contradicted what you said earlier. Because earlier you said this all new to him, right? All new to him. But just now you said, I kind of feel like he knows how it's going to be for me. I think he kind of knows how hard it is for me. Well, how? How is that if this is all new to him? How is he going to be able to empathize with you if it's so new to him? If he's never dealt with this before? So how? How is he knowing all this? How? It's all new. That's what you said. It's all so new to him. He don't know how to deal with it. I mean, you're going back to square one. That he don't know nothing about this. Like he hasn't been dealing with this. Your temper tantrums and all that. So how, all of a sudden, he's so understanding? But it's new to him.
I really emphasize to him, you really need to be patient if this is going to work.
What you're basically saying is, you need to go easy on me. You need to go easy on me. And you need to give me my way. Yeah, we see ya. Manipulation.
What I'm talking about when I mean control is I'm letting him control things that I have no control over.
What you mean? What do you mean? Things you can't control. You have no control. Look, you might not have control of your bowels, okay? But you are a 40-year-old woman. You ain't no damn child. You are in control. You have control. The only reason why you want to sit here and say, I can't control the situation, I can't control my eating, because you don't want to take accountability. That's what it is. You don't want to be responsible for your own accountability of what you're eating and what you're not eating. That's what it comes down to. I have no control. I'm 40 years old. Come on now. Ridiculous.
So yes, I let him control me with eating now.
Sure, Jan. So what you're saying is that he's going to put restrictions on you. He's going to restrict your food intake. Well, did you forget what happens to your pickled brain when that happens? Because you've told us. You forget? Let me remind you. You said you don't deal well with restrictions. You don't like to be restricted from foods. Because when you feel those restrictions coming down on you, you go into panic mode and you want to eat because you're being restricted. But now all of a sudden, we're supposed to think that those restrictions are going to work for you and they're going to help you. They ain't. And you know they ain't. You're going about it the wrong way. He's going about it the wrong way if he really thinks he's going to be able to restrict you from food.
What I mean by that specifically is I've decided to show him everything I eat.
So you're not willing to take any responsibility for yourself. So you're going to put it all on him. You're going to burden him with that. You're going to burden him with him policing what you eat, what you put in your mouth and all that, right? Because when you fail, and it's my opinion, you're going to fail. You're going to go back to your old ways. Because look, when you was in Thailand, you slid right back into your old habits without blinking an eye. And you're going to do the same with the food. And I don't care if you don't like to hear that. It's going to happen. But you're putting the burden on him. So that way when you fail, you could say, well, you're the one that was supposed to be policing what I eat. You failed me. You let me down. You let me order. You let me get the food. We all know that's what's going to go down. It's going to happen. It's a cycle. We see it over and over and over. You know, you're already like, oh, I'm on a winning streak. Yeah. No, it's not a winning streak until you hit the finish line. You still haven't hit that finish line. Are you ever going to get to the finish line? I don't care if you do or you don't. Don't matter to me.
And so far so good. Honestly, I'm not even like craving junk food right now.
Yeah. You ain't got the cravings right now. You ain't got the cravings for junk right now. But let me tell you, when you go into your live chat and your chat starts tantalizing you with all this food that you can't have, the pot pie, the poutine, chocolate cake. Remember how tasty that chocolate cake was? Once they start talking about food, because that's what they do, right? Start tantalizing you. You start fantasizing about all the food you can't have. And guess what? There you go. Throwing your temper tantrum because, why? Because you're being restricted from certain foods. But let's talk about your chat right quick, okay? Let's talk about your chat. Do you remember when you said this?
I'm a lot happier in a lot of different ways. So the audience, dynamic is not the same as it was. I understand that it might have been it was a lot more fun back then for certain people. But I think I'm just, growing up, and I'm just, yes, at my fine ripe age. And anyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome as long as you're respectful. If you say something to me, like, I know a lot of people were upset about being blocked and it's isolating your audience. It's isolating a part of audience that's been toxic a lot of the time and doesn't want the best for me. So for me, I will take that loss because it helps me mentally.
Seems to me that you got the same type of viewers. And it's obvious that when you did what you did in Thailand, you put on that show for the viewers, and you pulled in the numbers. I mean, look at the numbers of the videos, right? When you was acting a fool, eating all the junk you could eat, high as balls, right? Even told everybody you shat yourself, not once but twice, right? You just put on a complete shit show for everybody, and you pulled in the crowd. Yeah. But in that clip there, you're saying you don't need them. That ain't the type of viewers you want, right? But that's the type of viewers you got. That's what they want to see. So tell me, how you going to make these big old changes? How you going to turn over this new leaf? When that ain't what people want to see. They want to see exactly what you gave them in Thailand. That's what they want. That's what they're used to. Now, granted, you might have a few supporters, okay, that really want to see you do better. I mean, even some of the reaction channels, I've heard them say they wish you better. They wish you well, okay? But for the most part, everybody's there for the train wreck, for the shit show, the literal shit show. Anyhow, let's get back to the nonsense.
Though I'm feeling a lot better now, I still have that, like, when I think of certain foods, it's particularly fried, fatty, non-nutritious food, I feel ill. And, I'm very thankful for that right now, because I don't know if I had that feeling, if I would be so strong, if I would have that willpower, the same willpower. I don't know. I don't know if that will ever come back. I'm sure at some point I will get cravings for certain things. There's still things that, I think I would overindulge on if I had in the house.
You mean like all that cheese? Like all that cheese? You are the only one in my entire life that I have known of needing to go to the hospital because they ate too much cheese. Yeah, so you're telling me those 7 different types of cheese sitting in that fridge, they ain't gonna be tempting. They ain't gonna tempt you at all. You're not gonna be tempted to overdo, right? With all that cheese, the cheese you love. Hello, Salah, McFly, wake up. Cheese is a trigger for her. Why are you letting her buy so much damn cheese? Cheese is a trigger for her. She has no control when it comes to cheese. Wake up, educate yourself. She went to the ER because she ate too much cheese. The woman cannot be around cheese. Get rid of the cheese. Don't let her buy so much damn cheese. Come on now, educate yourself, man.
So we did a healthier grocery order.
Healthier?
Betwayer.
Before I had the mentality that I don't, really need to be accountable to anyone but myself. But I think I need to surrender that idea for now that I can be, that I can control, that I'm in control, because I'm not.
Oh my God, how? How you gonna sit there and say that shit? Come on now. You's grown. Have you ever heard the saying that says we are all in control of our own destiny? We are in control. Quit saying you ain't got no damn control.
And I know that I do need to be, but I do need some help with that at first. And being as my husband is like, he's my husband. He's my, he's my supporter. He protects me. He cares about me. He really cares about my health.
If this man is so caring and cares about your health, cares about your well-being, answer me this. Why hasn't he set up an appointment for a diabetic clinic, for a nutritionist? Why hasn't he set those two things up for you and taken you? He's the one that takes you places, right? Why hasn't he done that for you if he cares so much? Why isn't he taking these classes, these courses with you to educate himself and know how to properly deal with the situation? Let me ask you a question right quick. What has he done to educate himself on this situation, to help you deal with this situation of yours? What's he done? Has he educated himself? Has he read books? Has he watched videos? What has he done to educate himself on how to handle your issues with food? Has he gotten any advice on how to handle this situation? And I ain't talking about the advice that you're giving to him, okay? Because he can't take advice from you. How are you gonna give him advice when you can't even take your own damn advice? Obviously, he hasn't educated himself. He hasn't familiarized with himself with your addiction. Okay, let's call it what it is. You've got an addiction to food.
That's good, because if I was with a partner who was just like me, we would be, or somebody who encouraged me to eat unhealthy, or somebody who was like, I don't mind that you eat that. You're perfect the way you are, babe. I love you the way you are. And that's not okay, because that's very dangerous. And at that point, that's where, enabler status comes in.
Yeah, he's so supportive. So supportive, he's gonna let you keep on doing the mukbangs, huh? Yeah. Do your mukbangs and have a chat with people who are just tantalizing you, tempting you with all the bad food that you shouldn't be having, right? Because that's what they do in your chat. But he's okay with that because he's supportive, right? He ain't gonna tell you to quit. He ain't gonna put restrictions on that. Why? Not because he cares so much, but because that's where the money is, honey. That's where the money comes from, the mukbangs, the live chats. So tell me again how this all gonna work, please.
It's not his responsibility for me, I'm responsible for what I put in my mouth at the end of the day. He said, I'm your husband, I'm your family now. Like, if I love you, truly love you, I'm worried about your health. Like, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't care. I want you to travel with me. I want you to, just do a lot of things with me, do a lot of things together, and not be unhealthy. And so have a better quality of life,
How come he ain't sitting next to you saying all this? Why are you speaking on his behalf? Why ain't he saying this to the crowd? Saying this is our plan. This is what we're gonna do together as a couple. That's what a supportive spouse would do.
No, I'm going to totally let him criticize me for that. I'm totally going to let him criticize me, and I'm totally going to let him tell me no, and I'm totally going to let him control this part of my life that I have no control over. He's never nasty. He's just supportive, and he's never nasty about it, or we joke together, which is totally fine. I'm not really uptight. I'm not an uptight person about that. Like, I'm just, I have a sense of humor about my life, my situation a lot of the time. So you guys know, I like to laugh at myself sometimes.
It's okay if he criticizes me. I'm gonna let him criticize me. It's okay because it's love, I make fun of myself, and it's okay if he talks down to me and criticizes me. I'm gonna let it happen. What? A loving spouse doesn't criticize. No, that ain't how it works. A loving spouse ain't gonna sit there and criticize you. What's he gonna say? Okay, fat ass, you're eating too much. Might want to cut out, the poutine or whatever the hell you eat. No, I mean, he does criticize you, okay? We see it. We see it, and you're just gonna blow it off like, oh, it's just a sense of humor. I like to make fun of myself. Why don't you give us a break? I mean, you're always getting on us if we say anything bad about you. Can we criticize you too? Is that gonna be okay? Is that gonna help you? Huh? Yeah. Anyhow, those are just my opinions on it, okay? Do what you're gonna do. I don't care either way. But don't sit here and get pissy when we share our opinions on things you put out there for us to see. Alright, anyhow, that's all I have for this video. I'm kind of all over the place. My mind's somewhere else because I got some things to do, so I better log off. But y'all have a great weekend, and I'll see y'all real soon. Y'all take care, and I'll see you next time.
I don't like to bring it to you because your diet, you forget, you have to lose some weight.